Why Japan is disappearing. The population crisis that could change the world. If I asked you to name one country that feels like it's living in the future, there's a good chance you'd say Japan. A place where bullet trains arrive with unbelievable precision, where robots greet customers, where centuries-old traditions exist alongside futuristic cities. To millions of people around the world, Japan feels almost perfect. Safe, clean, disciplined, a country that somehow figured out what everyone else is still chasing. Every year, millions of tourists come here expecting to see the future. And they do. But there's something they usually don't notice. Because the biggest problem Japan faces isn't visible from the streets of Tokyo. It isn't an economic crash. It isn't a war. It isn't even a natural disaster. It's something far quieter and far more dangerous. Japan is slowly running out of people. Not because millions are leaving. Not because of a deadly epidemic. But because, year after year, fewer children are being born while the population continues to grow older. It sounds like a statistic, until you see what it actually looks like. Schools that once echoed with children's laughter are shutting their doors forever. Entire neighborhoods are filled with abandoned homes. Villages that survived for centuries are disappearing from the map, simply because there's nobody left to live in them. And this isn't a warning about the future. It's already happening. Japan's population has been declining for years, and if current trends continue, the country could lose tens of millions more people over the coming decades. For a nation that once amazed the world with its economic miracle, this is more than just a demographic shift. It's a challenge that could reshape its economy, workforce, healthcare system, and even its identity. So, how did one of the world's most successful countries end up here? Why are so many young people choosing not to have children? And what happens when a country begins losing people faster than it can replace them? To answer those questions, we need to go back in time, because Japan wasn't always like this. Just a few decades ago, the country was experiencing one of the greatest economic booms in modern history. Its factories supplied products to the entire world. Japanese companies became global symbols of innovation. The economy expanded at an incredible pace. Families were larger. Schools were overflowing with students. Young people believed the future would only get brighter. But while the world was busy celebrating Japan's success, a much quieter change had already begun. The birth rate started to fall. At first, nobody seemed too concerned. The cities were still crowded. Businesses were thriving. Life felt normal. But population changes don't happen overnight. They unfold slowly, one family, one generation, one decade at a time, until one day, the numbers become impossible to ignore. Today, Japan stands at the center of one of the most important demographic challenges of the 21st century. And perhaps the most surprising part of this story is that Japan may not be the exception. It may simply be the first. Because countries across Europe, East Asia, and even parts of North America are beginning to face the same warning signs. The question isn't whether population decline matters anymore. The real question is, if this can happen to Japan, who's next?